Mike Wolfe mourns dead friend as bittersweet episode airs. Last week's episode of American Pickers was a bittersweet one for Mike Wolfe as he was forced to mourn the death of someone very dear to his heart all over again. The History Channel star took to social media on January 18th, the day the episode aired, to remember his dead friend. Mike Wolfe penned in his heartbreaking Instagram post, "Tonight's American Pickers episode is bittersweet and very special to me. One of my mentors, Elmer Duhlman, passed away, and we received a call from his family to go through some things that he had stored for years." Mike Wolfe mourns dead friend during a bittersweet episode. As those who watch reality TV know, there's always a gap between reality and when the episodes were filmed. For Mike Wolfe, the January 18th episode of American Pickers was a really bittersweet moment for him as he was forced to relive the passing of a dear friend. The reality TV star explained on his Instagram profile it was a bittersweet episode because he was sad to say goodbye to his friend, but he was also excited to share his stories with History Channel viewers. According to pop culture, there was actually a massive gap between reality. And when this new episode was filmed as Elmer Duhlman actually passed away back in 2019. During the episode, Mike Wolfe receives a phone call from Duhlman's family. The family asked if Mike and his team wanted to go through things Elmer had stored for years. Elmer Duhlman had previously owned Elmer's Auto and Toy Museum. He and his wife spent over 60 years collecting vehicles, pedal cars, and automotive memorabilia. In time, this collection turned into a museum. In the middle of 2022, after 29 years, the museum closed. Mike and his team received an invite to go through the collection just a few days before an auction in September of last year. The auction reportedly netted $8.5 million. Check out Mike Wolfe's post reflecting on the death of his dear friend down below. American Pickers fans react to his post. In a little over a week, Mike's Instagram post has been liked a little over 1,600 times. Most fans agreed episodes like this one left them feeling truly emotional. They, however, adored that Mike was able to help tell someone's story with a collection they left behind. Here's some of what fans had to say in the comments. "I'm truly saddened on your loss. Love so much memories in your collection. My deepest condolences to you and your family. Sorry for yours and our loss. May he rest in peace, and may your show bring some more love to the family." Remembering the death of his friend hasn't slowed Mike Wolfe down, though, as he's been very active on his Instagram profile as of late. The reality TV star has posted 10 times since he shared the post remembering his late friend. Mike Wolfe, the charismatic star of American Pickers, stood in front of the camera, his usually infectious smile replaced with a more somber expression. The gleam in his eyes, usually filled with excitement for the next hidden treasure or vintage find, was dulled by a weight of sadness. Tonight's episode was not just another adventure in search of antiques, nor was it another opportunity to explore the dusty barns and forgotten attics scattered across America. Tonight's episode was different, bittersweet in a way Wolfe hadn't prepared for. The passing of a close friend, someone who had shared his journey, helped define his career, and added color to the patchwork of stories they discovered together, had left a void that could never be filled by any artifact, no matter how rare or valuable. The friend, a familiar face to the show's fans, was more than just a colleague. They were family. As the episode began to roll, Wolfe found himself quietly reminiscing. The footage had been shot months before the tragic loss, and seeing his friend alive and well on the screen stirred a deep emotional conflict within him. On one hand, it brought a sense of comfort, as though, for a fleeting moment, his friend was still here, cracking jokes and sharing in the excitement of a great find. On the other hand, it was a painful reminder of what had been taken away. Wolfe remembered the first time they met, a chance encounter at a local auction house. His friend, always a little rough around the edges, but with a heart of gold, had been bidding on an old gas pump, one of those rusty relics that seemed like junk to most, but was a treasure to the discerning eye. Wolfe, intrigued by his passion and sharp wit, struck up a conversation, and from that moment on, they became inseparable on the road. Together, they had combed through countless barns, garages, and sheds, chasing down leads for that next great find. Wolfe's friend had an uncanny knack for spotting the diamonds in the rough, the items that might not look like much at first glance, but held immense historical value. It was a gift, a talent that Wolfe had come to admire and rely on. As the episode continued, showcasing a barn pick from a small town in Iowa, Wolfe's mind wandered back to that day. His friend had spotted a rusty old sign, buried under a pile of discarded wood and broken furniture. Most people would have walked right past it, but not him. With a gleam in his eye, he pointed it out, insisting they dig it out. It turned out to be a rare 1930s automotive sign, one of the rarest Wolfe had ever seen. "I told you," his friend had said, grinning from ear to ear, as Wolfe marveled at the find. It was moments like that, those small, shared victories, that Wolfe cherished most. Not the money, not the fame, but the camaraderie, the feeling of being on an adventure with someone who understood the thrill of the hunt just as deeply as he did. In tonight's episode, that familiar grin was on full display. The scenes captured his friend in his element, joking, laughing, and sharing stories about the past, as they explored the hidden gems of a longtime collector's estate. It was vintage American pickers, heartwarming, authentic, and full of joy. But now, knowing what Wolfe knew, it was almost too much to bear. After the episode, Wolfe sat down for a heartfelt segment, one that had been recorded after the passing. His voice was quieter than usual, his words more deliberate. He wanted to honor his friend in a way that would resonate with the audience, to show them just how much this person had meant, not just to him, but to the show, to the world of picking, and to everyone who had ever watched them together on screen. Tonight's episode, Wolfe began, his voice catching for a moment before he composed himself, is one that's very special to me. It's bittersweet because it's the last time you'll see my friend, someone who was more than just a partner on the road. He was my brother. Wolfe paused, letting the weight of his words settle in. The silence was heavy but full of meaning. I spent so much time traveling this country, meeting incredible people, and finding things that have been lost to time. But one thing I've learned is that it's not the stuff that matters. It's the people you meet along the way. The connections, the stories. My friend had a way of making every pick an adventure. He saw beauty in things that others would pass by, and he lived his life the same way, finding value in the small moments, the quiet places, and the people who others might overlook. A tear rolled down Wolfe's cheek, but he didn't wipe it away. It was a natural, raw expression of grief, one that he felt was important to share with his audience. "I'll miss him every day," he continued, "but I'm so grateful for the time we had together. For the laughs, the stories, and the memories. He's a part of me, and he'll always be a part of this show." The screen faded to black, and a tribute appeared, in loving memory of a true picker. Wolfe had chosen the words carefully, wanting them to reflect not just his personal loss, but the impact his friend had on the entire world of collecting and preserving history. As the credits rolled, fans across the country took to social media, sharing their own memories of Wolfe's friend. Many had met him at events or seen him on the show, and had been struck by his kindness, his humor, and his passion for picking. It was clear that he had left an indelible mark on the hearts of many, just as he had on Wolfe's. The episode ended, but the legacy of Wolfe's friend would continue. His influence would live on in the countless treasures he had uncovered, the stories he had helped tell, and the memories he had created with his best friend by his side. In the end, Mike Wolfe knew that no pick, no treasure, no antique could ever replace the friend he had lost. But he also knew that the bond they shared, forged in the dusty barns and forgotten attics of America, would never truly be broken.